Hi everyone, I'm so excited for this video because I finally have with me my first ever products from Lisa Eldridge. Yay! I'm so glad I was able to get this. These are her latest release. This is for her Spring 2021 collection, and they, sang to me the way sirens sing to sailors. She has actually released a series of cosmetics products over the years, I think since 2018, and it is only at this time that I dared to purchase her products because truthfully the United Kingdom is around 10,000 kilometers away from me, and for the record, this is the furthest makeup product that I have ever purchased off of the internet. So I'm so glad to say that they all arrived well intact and on time. But before we continue, I'd like to say that this order of mine was actually fulfilled by DHL, and this got shipped together with everyone who pre-ordered her products. Now this was shipped on June 14, and I actually got this on June 17, but I wanted to create a video for her products as soon as I got them, but I was actually scheduled to come to my home here in the province, so that's why it took me a while to create this video right after I got it, because there's a lot of noise going on, there's a lot of construction, and I can only create videos on Sundays when I am here. And one other thing, I'm also shooting in front of natural lighting, and it's a little bit cloudy today. I just hope that it won't become like too overcast and we would lose all of the light. And I think if the cloud cover is going to separate, the lighting is going to change. So that's just a little bit of some disclaimer that I have to say. Alright? Okay, so I'm going to start by talking about the pouch that we see here. So when you order something from Lisa, and if stocks are, still piling up high, if you order 3 of her products, you actually get a pouch of your choice. So you have this Fantasy Floral kit, you have a red pouch, a midnight blue pouch, and like an emerald kind of green pouch. And they all have the same velvety texture. Now the reason why I chose this pouch as my freebie is because Lisa actually commissioned this pouch from an artist. So she asked the artist named John Jacobson to design the flower patterns that you see here on the pouch, and I think it's just wonderful, and the other thing also is that I love painting flowers. There was a time I used to paint flowers on shirts, so this really sang to me. So I'm glad that I was able to get this, and it's really cute. And the pouch is well made. I love the zipper pull here. The zipper pull is amazing. It doesn't look cheap. It looks very chic. And then the quality of the pouch inside is also well made. So thank you, Lisa, for this gift with purchase. I appreciate it, and it's so beautiful. I love the velvety texture. So this is the packaging of the products that I purchased. I purchased 2 of her Elevated Glow highlighters and 3 of her Enlivening blush. So I'm going to talk about these products one by one, and I'm going to swatch them also for you so that you can see how it appears and looks like on my skin. Alright, so I'm going to swatch her Elevated Glow highlighters first, and I'm going to begin by swatching the highlighter named Crystal Nebula. It is the one that is described to have a much more golden champagne-y kind of a tone. So I'm actually going to apply the product straight from the doe foot, and as we can see here, it really applies a very strong amount of product. So I guess we now know that less is always more. And I'm also happy to say that it's very easy to blend out, it's very easy to spread, and I actually want to try to see how well the consistency remains if we spread it in a much more bigger area. While the opacity remains, like the color consistency and the color payoff remains the same, and we still get that very nice pop of highlight color. This is very beautiful, I have to say. Now the next color that we have here is the one called Cosmic Rose. It has a much more rosier tone to it, and I'm going to apply the product straight again from the doe foot, and I'm going to see if okay, so it still delivers a very generous amount of product. It's still very easy to blend out with the fingers, and I think the Cosmic Rose has a much more beigey tone, rosy tone, almost skin-like. It kind of disappears into my skin as I swatch it here. But I do have to say though that it still has that very nice pop of color, very beautiful. And in comparison to Crystal Nebula for sure will give a much more stronger pop of color than Cosmic Rose. So I have here 3 of her Enlivening blush, and I do have to say that the packaging of her blush is beautiful, very chic. And I'm gonna start off by swatching this color. So I'm just gonna try to apply a small amount of product, and I'm just squeezing the product out of the tube if I can squeeze it out. As you can see from my wrist, I'm exerting a lot of pressure right now, but the color is not coming out. Okay, I'm squeezing some more, and okay, what's wrong? Okay, hang on for a moment. Alright, so I've actually managed to squeeze out a very minute amount of product from the tube, and I'm going to try to apply it here. I'm still not able to squeeze it out. I think there's just some dryness that might have happened while this was in transit, but yeah, so there's some dryness on the tube. I can fix this later. So I'm gonna swatch this color now. This is called Island Glow, and it's giving us a very nice orangey pink kind of a color. It kind of reminds me of a cocktail or a juice, like Tequila Sunrise or Four Seasons juice. Very beautiful color. The name of this blush is very apt for the color that it actually gives out. Alright, and the next color that we have here is called Pink Poetry, and oops, we have some separation of the ingredients, but I think if we mix it, it should be fine. So I'm going to try that. Alright, so it still has that same color payoff. Beautiful, vibrant pink, nice pop of color, and it still has that very nice demi-matte finish. Very beautiful. And the last color that we have here is, oops, I still have some product left in the tube because of the dryness. It's called Mountain Walk. And as we can see here on my arm, it has this very nice berry color, nice pop of color, very vibrant. So this is how it looks like on my skin. So that's Mountain Walk, Pink Poetry, and Island Glow. Alright, so as you guys have seen, I had a little bit of some trouble with the Island Glow blush, but it's not a big deal for me because there's a thing, you know, when you're getting to know a product for the first time and a brand, you know, some things work and some things don't work out. And I don't really think of it as like a form of trouble or it's like a bad product, but you can always find ways of making it work. Now, before I started shooting this segment of my video, I actually got a sewing needle which I soaked in 99% alcohol so that, you know, it just gets sanitized and all of the bacteria dies out before I actually inserted it on the tip of the tube, and I actually like really mix it together so that the product that dried out, I think it dried out from either from storage or from transit when it was on its way here. So I just wiggled the needle at the very tip of the tube so that whatever product that actually dried out there I could remove, and when that happened I was actually able to squeeze out the product from the tube. Now I'm gonna talk more about the blushes later, so I'm gonna talk about the highlighters first. So these are the two highlighters, and just as I'm about to start talking about this, the light has changed, but I think it's going to be cloudy, so it's going to disappear again. But anyway, so she has two other highlighters which I didn't purchase, and I wish that I actually purchased one other of her highlighters, the one that's called Solar Light, the one that has a much more apricot based color, because these two is rosy and golden. So if I have that, it will enable me to work with most of the skin colors that I usually work with here in the Philippines. But maybe I'm gonna order that in the next few weeks, because her highlighters are still available on her website, unlike her blushes. They have all gone out of stock. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to apply the highlighters on my face. So what I plan to do is I want to apply the highlighters on one part of my face where I just have my skincare on, and one part of my face where I have foundation, so that we can see the difference, okay? So the first color that we're going to apply is the color called Crystal Nebula, and I'm just going to apply a very minute amount of product, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to transfer the product here on a palette, just so that I can minimize contamination of the product, because after all, her highlighters are a hybrid of makeup and skincare. So less contamination, the product will last longer. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just loading the product here on this fan brush, and I'm just going to apply it at the highest point of my cheeks so that we can see how it actually reflects the light, and it's actually quite amazing. And you can actually also use your fingers for this. I'm going to use my fingers to blend it out some more, and I'm going to use the brush just to pile in the color and the product. Now, the reason why I was so intrigued by her highlighters is because she did an overview video for her latest release, and she said there that her highlighters has a biopolymer in it called Film Excel, wherein it kind of elevates your glow by tightening your skin. And it just like, helps in lessening the appearance of fine lines, especially here in this area where we get a lot of our crow's feet, especially if you're someone like me who is of a certain age. So this will actually help. So she says that this will set in like 3 minutes, and you can actually feel some slight tightening going on. And do I feel a tightening? I don't think I do. Yes, okay, I do feel a slight tightening, and it's not uncomfortable, which is great. And the great thing also with this product, when she described it, is that it like creates a film over the skin, which is great. Like if you are someone who has like, barrier issues with your skin, it just makes sure that your skin doesn't dry out further, or it doesn't get dehydrated, and it also makes sure that whatever skincare products that you've placed, her highlighters actually make sure that the moisture doesn't evaporate from the skin. And I'm wearing sunscreen right now, so as you can see, I have some glow going on. And the great thing with my sunscreen, it also has film forming capabilities, so I'm also interested to see if they will work together. And so far, so good. And as you can see, this highlight is beaming. And what I like about this highlighter of hers is that it doesn't look chunky, because there's some highlighters when you actually put it on your skin, you can actually see like a stripe, like, and you can see some chunkiness, but with this one, it doesn't. And so this is how it looks like on my other side of my face where it doesn't have highlighter, and this is how it looks like with highlighters. The color is very subtle, but you can see it's it's giving a very nice, like, high impact shine on my cheekbones, and I really like that. That's so pretty. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little bit here on the topmost portion of my brows. Oh, that's very pretty. It really catches the light. And right now it's cloudy, so it means like we have very minimal light coming in, and it's really catching the light, and it's just really reflecting it, and that's very helpful, and I really like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to add a very thin layer of foundation on my skin, just so that we can see how it layers. So this is a cream product. I'm actually avoiding using any kind of product that has a lot of like light reflecting qualities in it, because it will kind of like diminish the effect that we're looking for, because after all, this is a highlighter. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to apply some of this Crystal Nebula at the highest point of my cheeks, and I'm just going to blend it out with my fingers. Oh wow, I see my highlights are popping out. I'm being very careful with where I apply the highlighter, mainly because I have some texture on this part of my face, especially here, and I have some texture here also on the tips of my nose. So I'm only applying it at the point where I actually want my features to pop out. We're not even like using any contouring, but what I like about this highlighter is it's just making my cheekbones come out. This is actually great. This is very subtle. I like this because I don't really like using a lot of highlighters that are like, too strong, because I work usually in film and TV, so any form of highlighter that's too much will register as something that's very, very oily on film. I'm really glad about how subtle this product is, but it offers, look at that, very nice highlight, and it's giving us that very nice shine on my skin. Okay, what I'm doing right now is I'm removing that layer of Crystal Nebula from my skin, and then I'm going to try and apply Cosmic Rose, the other highlighter, which has a much more rosier tone, and we'll see how well it also registers on my skin. I have the Cosmic Rose right now, and I'm just going to load the doe foot here on my palette. So I'm just going to pick up some of the product with my Itabaki brush, and I'm just going to apply it here on my cheekbones, the highest points of my cheeks, and I'm just blending out. Okay, I'm just gonna load it here on the other side, and I'm just blending it downward, and I'm also going to blend it into my brow bone so that we see the difference. Alright, so this is how Cosmic Rose looks on my skin without makeup. Look at that shine. It's a much more subtle shine than Crystal Nebula. Almost skin-like. Very beautiful, and this is how it registers on my skin that has foundation. So I think I actually want to layer on some of the Crystal Nebula. Just a teeny tiny bit. And I'm just gonna blend it out with my fingers. Okay, so this looks amazing. Oh, and I just realized this when I smiled. I don't get a lot of the crow's feet going on here. That's great. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't get it. Wow. All right. That's great. This is great, Lisa. So that's amazing. So this is how her Elevated Glow highlighters are. Now, her Elevated Glow highlighters cost £27, which is not a bad price, especially that this is a skincare hybrid as well. And you get 13 milligrams of product in this very nice frosted glass bottle. So again, as I've said throughout this part of the video, that less is more, so this bottle would really last you a long time. And you can also use this, you know, when you want to highlight your clavicle area, on some part of your shoulders. This is a great product to use. Alright, so now I'm gonna talk about her Enlivening blush. So I have 3 of her 6 blushes here, and the main reason why I didn't purchase the other 3 is because I couldn't afford it, because truthfully, these 5 products, including shipping, cost me around £150, and you know, with the difference in exchange rate, it's quite huge amount of money. And I actually didn't plan this. This wasn't part of the purchase plan of makeup products that I had this year. But you know, as I've said earlier, this is like how sirens sang to sailors, and I dived down and went for it. So also the other thing is the 3 other colors on her blush line, 2 of them are very subtle, and 1 has a reddish tint to it. So because I have a lot of very subtle cream colored products here on my collection right now, so I don't really need them at the moment. And for one of her blush products that is called Venetian Red, I don't really use a lot of blushes that have red tints to it, because if I need to use a blush with a red tint, I'd rather use a lipstick. So that's the main reason. But after that swatch, I think I'm gonna watch out for the 3 other blushes when she releases them, maybe when she restocks for the fall holiday season. Now I've realized that she stocks her products during the spring summer season and the fall holiday season. So if you are someone who's very interested, do sign up for newsletters on Lisa's website, so that you can get updates when she'll restock her products, so that you'll be in the loop. All right, so despite the initial trouble that I have with the blushes, I love them. I enjoy them. I love cream blushes. Like if you've been you know, watching some of my videos, you guys would have noticed that most of the blushes that I use are either cream or liquid blushes, so I love this already. Now, one thing I have observed about her tubes is that no matter how much you actually press on it, it maintains a certain type of pressure wherein it just pushes the right amount of product out of the tube. And this is actually great if you're someone who is like heavy-handed with things, like if you just like press on things suddenly, because the tube actually creates like a very steady amount of pressure. It just really helps you to eject the right amount of product on either on your palette or at the back of your hand. And one other thing that I love about her tubes is the cap. It's a very secure cap, and you can actually hear it. You can hear it like tick, like, you know, when it's sealed or when it's open, and I really love that. Now on my swatch, I've also noticed like there was like some separation of the pigment and like the vehicle of the product. When I mean vehicle, is like it is what is used to actually spread out the pigment. And because of that observation, what I would like to do now is that I would just like roll the tube, so that it lessens the opportunity of product separation, and it also lessens the opportunity of having product get stuck at the very tip of the tubes here. Alright, so as you can see here on my pan, I have a little bit of the Island Glow, or a lot of the Island Glow, because as we saw on the swatch on my arm, it's very highly pigmented. So I have actually spread some of the color on this Yachio brush, and it does pick up a lot of the color. So what I do is I remove some of it at the back of my hand, and I just press the color lightly on my cheeks. And as you guys can see, it does have quite a strong pigmentation. So with this product, less is more. So I'm finding that this is a very strong amount of color in my cheeks. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna get a clean Yachio brush, and I'm just gonna use that to spread the color all over my cheeks. And this is giving my skin a very nice, like, you know, pop of color. Very beautiful, very nice, like, you know, summery vibe, which is actually very pretty. And you can actually build the color by, you know, alternating between a clean brush and a loaded brush with product, so that you can get the intensity of the color that you want. Alright, so this is how Island Glow looks on my skin without foundation. Very pretty, very subtle, but you can see that very nice hint of warmth coming out. This is a very pretty color. I like it. Okay, so I'm gonna add some of this Island Glow now on my skin where I have some foundation on. Wow, look at that. Love the color. Very pretty. And since, you know, I have yellow undertones on my skin, just like really works with the warmth of my skin. Right, and now that the sun is coming out, we can really see how it looks like under the sun. Very beautiful, nice colors. And it's working very well with the highlighter that I applied earlier. So this is Island Glow. Alright, so I'm just going to remove some of this blush because I want to try the other colors as well. Okay, so now I'm going to try Pink Poetry. And this is giving me a very nice pop of color on my cheek. I know the swatch look very strong, but if you just blend out and use a very, like, you know, minimal amount of product, you can actually control how much color appears on the skin. So this is a very nice blue pink, which is working very well in counteracting the yellow tones of my skin, and they're complementing each other really well. It's making me look very girly, very soft, and I really like that. So pretty. And what I want to do, because I've also removed some of the highlight with the makeup wipe, I'm gonna add some of this Crystal Nebula to my cheek, just so that we create that nice dimension of color. And it's just going to create a very nice pop as well. Like, I also do want to say that if you have been a fan of Lisa Eldridge for the past few years, you would know right now that her thing is actually using highlighter and blush together to create a very nice, beautiful look on the face. And that's the main reason why I was so pulled in purchasing her highlighter and her blush when she released them this season, because this is quintessential Lisa Eldridge. Alright, so this is how Pink Poetry looks on my skin. Okay, the next blush that I'm trying here is the blush called Mountain Walk, and it has this very nice berry tone to it. Very beautiful. Again, it still works very well with my skin tones because the blue tones of the blush work well in counteracting the yellow tones of my skin. Okay, I'm just loading it here on the highest points of my cheeks. And I'm just blending out with a clean brush, just so that we have that seamless blending of color. And I'm finding it very easy to blend out her Enlivening blush. It's so smooth, and the pigmentation of her products are very even, because sometimes, like, you know, when you're working with cream blushes, if the pigmentation and if the formula is not nice, you see patchiness. And the thing that I have noticed with Lisa's blushes is that the color payoff remains the same. It's very even, and, like, you know, it's so beautiful. Like, the colors, it's so subtle. Like, I know in the swatching, it looks like they're like way too much color, but, you know, if you just blend it out and you use, like, you know, light strokes and you layer them to the intensity that you want, it creates a very nice subtle look on your face. Okay, so I actually want to combine this blush with some Cosmic Rose highlighter. Where is that? Because I feel like the rose tones of the Cosmic Rose highlighter will work very well with the rosy tones and the pinky tones of Mountain Walk. Okay, look how pretty this color is. So this is how Mountain Walk looks on my skin. Okay, and just like that, the sun has disappeared again. But the great thing is that you can see how the colors, like in her blushes, register on my skin when you have great natural sunlight, or this is even how it looks like on my skin when you have bad lighting on. And it just really has a way of enlivening your skin, like giving life to your skin and making sure that you look like you know, you're looking healthy. And her blushes just have a way of, like, you know, looking that you're actually blushing from within. It works very well in synergy with your skin. It doesn't look like it's sitting on top of your skin, which I actually like. So yeah, I do love cream blushes because it allows me the opportunity to actually play and create my own colors. Now, with Lisa's products, you can also do that. To me, I can mix Island Glow and Pink Poetry together. So let's do that. Because Island Glow has a very nice hint of like pink on it. Although it leans towards the more orangey side. But if you just want to intensify the pinkness of Island Glow, you can add a little bit of some Pink Poetry. So with the palette knife, you can just mix the two colors together. And you can instantly see that Island Glow and Pink Poetry is now giving us a very nice pinky color tone, Four Seasons kind of a color. Okay, and let's apply that onto the skin. And it's giving us a very nice vibrant color on the cheeks. Again, very playful, very perfect for the summer. Isn't that so pretty? And then you can just go back and pick up some of that, maybe, well, I'm using Crystal Nebula right now. And I'm just adding some of that here at the highest point of my cheeks, and I'm just blending up with my finger. And I'm just bringing the highlight into the blush tones so that we have one nice seamless pop of color. I also want to add that here on the other side of my cheeks. So if you're like me, who's actually thinking of, like, you know, mixing colors between two cream blush products, the possibilities are infinite. But just make sure that you are actually working within the parameters of like color theory. So again, I'm able to use Island Glow and Pink Poetry together because Island Glow has a hint of pink on it. So adding a little bit of the Pink Poetry just helps to bring out the pinkiness without actually taming down the color, the orangey tones of the Island Glow. But I do not suggest that you mix Island Glow and Mountain Walk together because in theory, I haven't tried it yet because if we do this now on this video, it's just going to take up so much time. But in theory, because Island Glow is more orangey and Mountain Walk is more like, it leans toward the bluer side. If you mix these two colors together, it's just going to dull each other out because the blue tones will counteract with the orange tones of the blush, and it's just going to neutralize it and going to make the color ashy. But if you want to add more dimension to the Mountain Walk, I think mixing in Pink Poetry with it will just really help, like, you know, tone down the blueness and just makes the color much more vibrant. So again, like, you know, if you have all of her blushes at her disposal, I think you can create a lot of different makeup looks and different blush tones with it. Alright, so I guess this is it from me today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video with me. Like, I really enjoyed getting to know these products. They are simply amazing. Like, they are good value for your money, like especially with the blushes. You have like 15 ml of product on each tube. That's a lot of product. So this will really last you a long time. And this like retails only for 24 pounds, again, which is like not a bad price point for something that is also a skincare hybrid. So if you're someone who missed the chance of purchasing her blushes or like even her highlighters at this release, make sure to sign up on her newsletter so that you can get updates on when she'll be releasing new stocks for, I'm sure, the coming fall and holiday 2021 season. So anywho, if you have any more questions about how I use the products, please leave them at the comments box below and let's have a conversation about it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're having a good day wherever you are. Bye bye.